Well, tributes continue to pour in for the music icon Daddy Lumba. It's captured on the front page of the Daily Graphic this morning. It says Ghana mourns Daddy Lumba. Then we have IGP visiting as well after some killings, orders thorough search of vehicles. There's also a heightened security measure by the Regional Security Council, we understand. And COA responds to clinical trial publication. Details also in page 41 of the Daily Graphic. The bigger story is about the Army deploying forces to Bawku as government evacuates students from Bawku and Nalerigo. So details of that also here on the front page of the Daily Graphic.
I like the back page. Go to the back page.
Let's see what's here. Oh, yeah, I almost missed this one. Black Queens stun South Africa to win bronze.
Yeah.
And it comes to the picture of the girls. They've done really well, isn't it?
They have.
Yeah. It's on the back page of the Ghanaian Times as well. Black Queens clinch WAFCON bronze. The president is also on the back page. It says the Black Star Marathon will be added to the tourism calendar. So that happened over the weekend. Multimedia Group was a partner for that particular event. Joy Sports now gidi. Now the Ghanaian Times, government gets tough with Boko conflict, moves from peacekeeping to peace enforcement. 2 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew imposed on Boko, Nalerigo, and environs. Over the weekend, 2 students were shot in Nalerigo, and it's not good. It's not good, and there's a 2 p.m. to 6 a.m. curfew imposed on Boko and Nalerigo and the areas around. Now, 1,200 excavators impounded, 9 red zone forests repossessed. Lands Minister given an update on the Galamsey fight, and NLADG picks award for boosting national lottery revenue. 3 students shot dead at Boko, Nalerigo. That's the sad story.
On the Ghanaian point, it's an obvious one. High life legend Daddy Lumba passes away at 60. Then finally, there's a decision on the Akwitia by-election. Looks like the date is set for September 2. That's what the Ghanaian point is reporting. So it means that in just about 2 months, we'll know who the next member of parliament for that area will be. The national security is also embarking on Operation Keep Ghana Safe to avert a rise in killings and also disappearances. So it comes to the picture of the national security coordinator, COP Osman Abdul Razak, and other high-ranking security officials. So we're hoping that at least to address all of these challenges.
If you go to the news center, bad story, 3 students killed in Boko, Nalerigo Senior High School attacks. Ecobank Ghana to plant 1,700 trees to restore cheaper forest. NPP to close flag bearer nominations on August 28th, and over 2 billion Ghana cedis worth of SNIT funds under threat. 3,000 acres of land valued at 851 million encroached. 1 billion Ghana cedis worth of loans locked up for more than 10 years. 192 houses idle for 6 years after completion. Those are the numbers from the news center. Elvis Darko leading with that. And Ghana mourns that Lumba, 200 songs back to back. Hit maker.
There's an interesting perspective on the illegal mining fight here on the front page of the Daily Democrat. It talks about the fact that government has reclaimed all red zone forest reserves. That one would have to subject it to some checks. Probably Rasta Sasari Donko is listening to us this morning and might want to do some further checks for us. But that's what the minister is assuring, that they've claimed all the red zones in terms of the forest reserves. Then the National Petroleum Authority is also launching the steering committee to champion 24-hour economy in the downstream petroleum sector. Many would say, but the fuel stations are working 24/7.
They are not.
Okay, well, so some good news there. So let's see what then will happen in the coming days. Eric Opoku launches major irrigation rehabilitation project to boost food security. You can find all these stories within the Daily Democrat.
For a lot of the fuel stations that are not within the cities and the big towns, and they are in the outskirts, because of security issues, armed robbery and all that, some of them close by 6. I was in Atebubu about 3 months ago. I traveled from Ketekrache, Kajeji, Kwame Danso to Atebubu, and I was low on fuel. It was around 7 p.m. All the fuel stations had closed down because of robbery issues. So 24-hour economy will work in certain places if we ensure there is peace and security. For example, Boko, Nalerigo, all those areas, 24-hour economy cannot work there if we don't have peace.
And I think that sometimes we create too many problems for ourselves. My brother, if there is demand,
there will be supply.
There will be supply.
And the market will work.
So if there is demand for fuel,
exactly.
If you operate in a certain area, so for instance, we've seen areas around Osu, the Dankwa Circle.
Yeah.
There's this fuel station that's years ago when I used to hang around those areas, was operating 24 hours.
Well, that's not the only place actually.
Yeah, I said years, years ago when I was
right.
operating around that area.
Yeah, right.
It was operating 24 hours because it was an area that people would hang out there till the following morning.
Yeah.
So it would make sense for you to actually operate 24 hours. Okay? If you go to, say, a place like the airport area, people go there all the time. They're coming in and out. So it'd be important to operate 24 hours. There are food, eateries that are also operating 24 hours. There are, nightclubs over there. So if you operate 24 hours, it would make sense.
Yeah.
Where there isn't market, there isn't business. Even if you were to incentivize me with security, I wouldn't operate. Because at the end of the day, if I bring in somebody, I'd ask myself a very simple question. So if I keep my lights and pumps on for that period, and if I pay somebody I pay an attendant over that period, how much am I going to make to actually, within that period?
Yeah.
If I check and I wouldn't make much money, I would not open. So the whole thing is simply the fact that once there's a demand for the service, so I understand those who say you might as well work on your nightlife. Yes, and there'll be certain areas where, for instance, would have factories springing up. And if these factories spring up, what it actually does is that area automatically would export jobs. If they export jobs, the people who go there, it would lead to the provision of services, and that's normally taken over by the indigenes of the place. Okay. We stretch things and make it very difficult for ourselves all the time.
So you believe it's much more about demand and supply?
It is.
Yep. And when it comes to 24 hours, for example, an area that we need to do better is education.
Yeah.
Right. In the tertiary space, a lot of students don't get access because they don't meet the pass mark. But can we have a Ghana alternative education policy where when the main block of students go on vacation, you still have the assets sitting down? You have your Sami Odames and your Blizzards and your Winstons, and people in the industry actually take over and teach those who didn't make the pass mark for some of the courses, right? So at least they get also a bit of formal education, some experience, some mentoring, plus some practical education. Okay, so we sweat the assets we've put in place. We need to look at some of those things as well.
I have the Economy Times here. Government to step up public spending in the second half of 2025, but total expenditure for the year cut. That's according to the Economy Times. Then there's also an interesting piece by Adnan Mohammed talking about the Islamic banking being a catalyst for Mohammed's big push and Feed Ghana initiatives. That's actually according to Professor Agachi, not Mohammed Adnan. So he's been, a big advocate for that. Prof has been championing that for quite some time now, and he's still championing that on the Economy Times.
Now let's go to the custodian newspaper. Ekufuado Bawumia NPP mourn Daddy Lumba. Minority falls NDC's coup in Parliament as Mama Pat backs Apenyo Markin. Axel Low stations hijacked, millions lost as government remains in the dark. Samira Bawumia launches award scheme for senior high school students, and Anodompre gives 400 free driver's licenses to constituents fulfilling a campaign promise. I drove through his constituency yesterday. These days we dodge the traffic on the Nsawam Mama Saman Road through Nsawam, Pokrom, Ebri.
Yeah.
And there was traffic. From Ebri girls all the way to Pediasi, there was traffic because everybody was dodging the traffic. Now that Ebri Pokrom in Sawam Road, it's developing potholes and it needs to be fixed. And Anodompre should move for that to be done. They need to upgrade that road to a first class road because it's become an important road for movement between the Greater Accra region, Eastern region, Ashanti region, and beyond. So as he gives driver's licenses, he also needs to lobby for better roads for the drivers and in his constituency.
I'll tell you a story.
Yeah.
Years ago, somebody walked up to my father and said he wanted him to help him acquire a driver's license. So he went to driving school and got the license. Then when he got the license, he was all over the place saying, MP Ombuam, MP Onye Shemam. I'm a license and talk and count.
So another prayer has to buy 400
I'm just asking whether he has to buy cars because it says I'm license and talk and count. I'm a license and I talk.
No,
that's how you go about it. Anyway, do we have the business and
yes, we have the BNFT. Ghana France signed debt restructuring pact. Government signals intend to explore sovereign bond buybacks, and La Community Bank reports 29% growth in revenue. In mining, small-scale gold exports surpassed large-scale exports for first time, driven by gold board reforms, according to the BNFT. And on the economy, a strong cedi that one feels. They want everybody to feel the cedi. There is an interesting story in the Ghanaian Times that I would like to share later with you, Winston. It's talking about women largely not happy at the workplace. It says workplace toxicity disproportionately affects female employees. Workplace toxicity disproportionately affects female employees. And sometimes we talk to a lot of our friends in corporate and in other places, and it looks as though still the woman is not equitably being treated well. And women who should have the opportunity to rise to certain places are not getting there. And some of the expectations of women in the workplace are also unfair. We've seen some excellent women rising to the top the past few years. In fact, now we have a female vice president. I'm waiting for a female president. We have the likes of Mansa Nete, the likes of Abnose Poku, the likes of all the big women, Sylvia Inkum, all those occupying big places. But we need to do better for the women in the workplace.
We need to do better for the women in the workplace. If a woman deserves a position, she must get it.
Yep.
She must get it. I look at things and I say, if this person is qualified, he or she must get it. If this person has a problem with the work environment, you must help to make their work environment favorable.
Exactly.
I mean, let's get to work. Anyway, let's get into our online news review. It's brought to us by Zenith Bank in your best interest.
And get paid smarter with Zenith Merchant Pay. Running a business, make receiving payments fast, easy, stress-free with the Zenith Merchant Pay, the seamless solution for all SMEs and corporates. Now, with the Zenith Merchant Pay, you can now receive payments via mobile money, a QR code, bank transfer, and *966#. That's Zenith Bank's USSD in real time. Also enjoy instant payment alerts and also quick settlements and easy reconciliation. No delays at all, no stress. Sign up for Zenith Merchant Pay today at any of the Zenith Bank branches near you. It's fast, secure, instant payments anywhere in Ghana. Zenith Bank is working in your best interest.
My Joy Online, Minority Chief Whip demands urgent briefing over mysterious killings. This is Frank Anodompre. Bawku conflict, students killed, MP's residence set ablaze. It's all joy as the EcoBank Joy News Habitat Fair in Tema wraps up on its final day. I saw Kofi Hayford dancing, and now I know I also have a future in the dance industry. Now, more stories on my jawline. First Mpox death recorded in Ghana, 23 new cases confirmed, and that Lumba's legacy will echo through the ages. This is President Mahama paying tribute to Daddy Lumba. Photos of day 3 of the Joy News Habitat Fair is also on the front page. If you missed out, you can check it out, and there's a lot to get from the Habitat Fair. If you want to own a house, just check out the various exhibitors and get services and the support you need. Government funds released for 2025 WASI practical exams. This is GES confirming. And there's a list of the over 200 songs that the Lumba released. You know, I worked with Tarzan as an assistant of sorts when he sponsored the publication of High Lifetime, the 3rd version by Professor John Collins. And for me, the whole book, when we were working on it, I was just looking out for the portions on that Lumba. As a Kumasi boy, I have always said that Lumba is greater than Michael Jackson and Bob Marley. And that at a point when we were debating who to name the Kumasi International Airport after, and the Sofo Line interchange, I proposed that we could give it to that Lumba interchange or that Lumba International Airport. And there's a list of the over 200 songs that Lumba released. You may want to check it out. It's on my Joy Online. Now let's go to City Newsroom. Political interest sustaining Bawku conflict. This is Dr. Intridanso speaking.
He's right. He's right. And there's one thing I say. I don't know this, but I think that, look, people should understand that you deserve more.
Mm-hmm.
You deserve better
Yep.
than sacrificing your life just for somebody's political interest.
Exactly.
Look, you deserve more, and in deserving more, you must actually hold people accountable. So they do the things they promised you instead of going to die because somebody wants to come into office.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
Because the people you're sacrificing for and you're losing your life, some don't even know you. They don't know you. So here you are fighting for a man who doesn't know you. It's not like you're fighting for a cause. You're just fighting for an individual who doesn't know you. The second thing is that I do not think anybody in this country must lose his life because of chieftaincy. No. Why? Why? I mean, what's in it that you want to die because somebody must be a chief? Oh.
Anyway, more stories from citynewsroom.com. T-bill auction oversubscribed by 96% as yields decline across all tenors. It's also a story on citynewsroom.com. And presidency assures befitting burial for late high life legend Charles Kojofusu, aka Dadlumba. So those are some of the stories from the online portal. But Blessed, you read a Galamsey story, which you wanted. Maybe you should give us the details of that.
The minister has been giving assurances that they've reclaimed all the red zones. That's the indication he's giving us. I'm sure it's just a fallout from his address, the Government Accountability Series. But let me just bring a quote. He says, quote, the red zone reserves are no longer under illegal occupation, unquote. So that's flowing from the fact that the government of Ghana has chalked up some notable gains in the ongoing battle against illegal mining, as the Daily Democrat is also speaking about. But there's an interesting one about the national security concerns. Looks like all the security agencies are scaling up an operation. It's called Operation Keep Ghana Safe. So these mysterious killings that I believe the Minority Chief Whip is asking details on, the national security is also trying as much as possible to be proactive in averting all these rising killings and disappearances. So that's what the Ghanaian Point is also talking about.
Okay, now let me give you a story on our pensions. Over 2 billion Ghana cedis worth of SNIT funds under threats. This is by Elvis Darko in the News Center. Get a copy of this newspaper. He's broken it down. 1 billion Ghana cedis locked in 8 struggling firms, $5.8 million locked in struggling firms, 765 million principal of an amount loan to 7 institutions not paid, 602 million in interest not collected. Ridge Royal Hotel owes money, Golden Beach Hotels owes money, Intercities STC 65 million Ghana cedi liability, Ghana Road Fund has an outstanding of 200 million to SNIT, and a lot of other things.